Good morning everyone. Today we are going to say about a web frameworks UI UX design principles. So what is the UI and what is UX? What is the interaction, difference and importance about the UI design process? So first we will see about what is UI. UI stands for user interface. It includes the visual and interactive elements such as screens, buttons, text field, icons and images. And what is user interface design? So UI design is the process of designing the look and feel of an application or website or a software. So it mainly focuses on how the product's interface looks and works. So what are the types of UIs are available? Types are graphical user interface, voice user interface, menu driven user interface, touch user interface. There are many types of UIs are available. So what is UX? User experience. So it is design. It is the process of designing and improving the product to provide the best experience for a user. So the key elements is usability, accessibility, and everything. So, for example, if we consider the food delivery app, the UI will be the buttons, the colors, the menus. What we will see in the screen is represents the UIs. And what is UX? How it easy to find the food, order quickly, and make payments. So overall experience is the UX. So there are many examples out there. So main difference between UI and UX is UI means visual design of the product and UX is overall experience of a user. So mainly deals with the uh, color and overall look of a UI, and it UX deals with the experience of a user. So this is a diagram for UI and UX. Then what does a UI designer do? So UI designer, what they will do, design a visual elements, maintain consistency and everything. What does UI designer do? So they will mainly focuses on the overall experiences of the a product or a software. So what is the importance? Why we have to go for a UI UX? So first impression is the best and better user satisfaction and increases usability and accessibility, boosts engagement and retention, competitive advantages. There are many importance are there. Then what are the UI and UX for a app? So for WhatsApp, UI is a green color theme and shared purpose, and for UX it is easy to send the messages with one tap. So there are many examples there. Next one is Google Maps and Netflix and YouTube and Instagram. Next is the design thinking process. So design thinking process is starts with the empathize, define, and ideate and prototype and test. So before designing a UI, we should know how to frame empathize, define the for what we are designing, and ideate, prototype, and test. So design thinking process and the empathize is to understand the user's needs, challenges, and behaviors by interacting with them directly. And an example for this is if we are designing for a banking apps, we should know the vision impairments, limited technical skills, and everything. So what is define? Define means clearly frame the problem based on the insights from the empathize phase. And second, example for the banking app is problem statement is elderly users of mobile banking apps face significant barriers due to small text, complicated navigation, and everything. So the next phase is ideate. Ideate means generate a wide range of creative ideas and possible solutions. And for example, the mobile app, we should design the app with larger fonts and adjustable text size and voice activated actions. The next phase is prototype. Prototype means build a low cost and scale down versions of the product or services. And an example for a mobile app is we should define the simplified screen, voice prompt, and everything. Then last phase is test. Test means we have to give that developed design to real users to redefine the solution and get a feedback from them to redefine their designs. So what are all the test we can get from the user is we have to redefine that. So this design thinking process is a iterative process. So we should get the feedback and we should repeat the entire process from the empathize process to test phases. And the next is empathy mapping. Empathy mapping is this collaborative visualization when used to articulate and understand the user's needs, thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So this is the empathy mapping. Then how an empathy mapping works. So first define the user. What are the users using our UI? And fill the quarters, that is think and feel, say and do, see, hear, and analyze the everything and apply. So for what are the steps in creating an empathy mapping is first research, that is collect a user feedback, conduct the interview surveys and define the user. What are the users? Fill out the map, analyze the patterns, how it will look and act on the insights. So why it is important? Since UI UX design mainly focuses on user-centered design and it informs the design decisions, fosters the team alignment and everything. So we'll consider for the grocery delivery apps what it says, things and does and feels and pains gains. So while designing we should consider the everything. The next is user journey mapping. So user journey mapping, it is a visual representation that captures the process a user goes through when interacting with the product or a services. So user journey mapping mainly focuses on the interactions. So what are the key components of user journey mapping? Persona in the sense who is the user using that UI, and stages, that is they are uh, phases of a user journey represents the stages, and actions, what are the user actions users takes at the each stage, then touch points, emotion, pain points and opportunities. Why user journey mapping is important? Means it represents the holistic view, it provides a comprehensive view of a user, it identifies the pain points and also it improves the user satisfaction. So this is the difference between empathy mapping and user journey mapping. The next is persona creation definition. So personas are that is imaginary characters or persons that the designer creates in the form of a document to represent the users. So personas helps the user UX designer to decide what to prioritize in the design making. The next is the user persona should answer the following questions: who is my target customers, what is their behavior patterns, what is the needs and goals, what are the pain points and my issues they currently face. So how to create a persona? First step is user research, we should identify the correct users, and second step is persona header, we should define the persona header that includes the name, image and short bio. And next is demographics, so it includes the four main sections, that is biography, professional background, user environment and everything. And fourth step is end goals or motivations, so this is about the users informations. The end goal is motivating factor for everything. And pain points, so where the users feels very bad to use that product. Then what is the importance of personas? We can understand the users easily and study the customer behavior and better communications. So this is an example for a persona creation: name, age, occupation, their backgrounds, goals, pain points and behavior and code. So this is the persona, so we should create the persona like this. Then next, wireframes and prototypes. So wireframe is simply an idea how to make a uh, UI. This is blueprint of the web page. And types of wireframe is low fidelity wireframes. This is a low fidelity wireframes and mid fidelity wireframes. Some detail accurate description than the low fidelity. Then this high fidelity frames. High fidelity frame we can include the colors and overall designs. Next, what is prototyping? Prototyping is the interactive process of quickly building a simplified version of a product or system to test ideas, gather feedback, and refine the final solution to ensure the product meets the needs of the customer. What is the purpose of prototyping? Testing, interacting, communication, and reducing the risk. Then what are the types of prototyping? Low fidelity prototyping, medium fidelity prototyping, high fidelity prototyping. So how to create a prototype? The first step is we should get the requirement from the user, and second step is to design the prototype, and third is to create a prototype, and fourth and test the developer prototype. Fifth one is refine the prototype, and finally step 6 is protecting the design. We should protect the design. And seventh, test, and eighth one is we should share the results of test, and ninth is implementation of the product. So what are the advantages of prototyping? We can get the feedback earlier, we can reduce the risk of a product, and we can see the ideas and think better, save money, work faster, and there are many advantages of there. What are the disadvantages? It requires time, and it also requires more code. It focuses on the looks over the functions, so feature overloading. So these are the disadvantages. Then next, heuristic evaluation in UX. So it is usability inspection method where the experts systematically examine a user interface against a set of recognized usability principles. That is heuristic evaluation. So Jacob Nielsen defines the 10 usability heuristics, which includes usability of the system, match between system and the real world, user control and freedom, consistency and standards, recognition rather than recall. So these are the 10 heuristic principles. So the benefits of heuristic principles is identifies the usability issues, improves user satisfaction, saves time and money compared to full-scale user testing. And next is mobile first design. We should design a website for mobile devices first, then we should define for the desktop. Since everything nowadays everything will be used in the mobile, so we should define the mobile first design. So to create that mobile first design, we should consider the following steps. Use the large fonts and buttons. Keep the text short and the point to improve scale readability. Use the high quality images. So everything we should consider. Then mobile first design process, the first step is wireframing. Start creating wireframing and content inventory, visual hierarchy. Design for first small screens, then expand the screen sections. Then what are the benefits of mobile first design? It is responsive design, simplified content, mobile usage, optimized performances. Then responsive web design. Responsive web design is designing websites that contain flexible layouts that can scale itself according to the screen size of the device it is being viewed. So it uses the CSS, HTML and CSS3 and HTML5. So how to create a responsive web design? First, define a user flow, then user flexible images, then apply the media queries and prioritize the touchscreens, and finally test the responsiveness. And what are the key principles? So first we should focus on the viewable on multiple devices and easy to understand and consistency. Then this is the difference between mobile first and responsive design. Color theory. Color theory includes the colors, mainly how the UI looks. That is reference the color theory. Color theory terminologies includes hue, shade, tint and tone. Hue means the specific color is known as a dominant color of a color family, and shade is mixed with only black color. Tint, it is a color mixed with only white, and tone, it is a color mixed with only gray, making the color appear grayer. So intensity, temperature, cool colors and everything. So this is the color wheel, primary, secondary and tertiary colors. So these are all about the color theories. Color harmony, split complementary, triadics. There are many color theories and color models all available. So we should know grayscale model, HSP model and everything. So the color families includes fairy warms, so smoothing, cools and everything. Typography in UX design. So typography is the art of utilizing typefaces and fonts to create content on a website or app that is clear, readable, understandable, and pleasurable to the user who is viewing it. So this is mainly focuses on the text that appears in the screen. So this is the typography. So we will see the ascender, descender, height of the text, descender, borderline and everything. So what are the terminologies in the typography? Typeface, font, serif, sans serif, italics, its height, baselines, and these are all the color typography principles. So letter spacing and letter line, these we should consider. What are the benefits? We can build a strong brand perception, create visual impulse, holds the user attention, and encourages the better decision making. Then layout. Layout refers how the visual design elements are organized in a page to create effective layouts. We should designers should consider hierarchy, balance, and other visual design principles. So this is why the colors layouts are important, means usability, visual imbalance and consistency and aesthetics. Common layout types is single column layout, two column or three column layout, and grid layout, and chord layout, split layout and asymmetric layout. So these are the layout designs. Then spacing in the UX design. So spacing is the space between the elements in the layout. So it includes the space between text, images, buttons and other UI components. So spacing includes the margin and padding. Margin is the space outside an element. It creates a gap between the element and other elements around it. Padding refers to space between UI elements. For example, this is the difference between padding and spacing. Form fields, spacing on a chord and everything. So this is about the UI UX design principles. The real-time case study includes the bus ticket booking, e-checkout process, and college canteen ordering system, hospital appointment booking, online learning platform. So this is about the UI UX design principles.